Cross had been at St. Mary's Hospital since early morning. The old fan, its rusty blades creaking, lazily pushed warm air across the hospital ward. William sat by Evelyn's bedside, gently holding her hand. In the dim glow of the lamp, her eyes seemed even deeper, and her voice was softer than usual. "I'm sorry," William said. "It won't happen again. From now on, you're under my protection around the clock." "I don't mind at all," she said, squeezing his hand. She clearly hadn't regained all her strength yet, but her resilience was admirable. Bruises still marked her wrists, dark like the imprint of a midnight nightmare. "What happened?" Cross asked. "I was waiting for you." The door was open. Suddenly, two men walked in. One of them hit me in the face. Then they tied my hands and ordered me to go down to the basement. They demanded to know what I knew about the investigation and what you were doing at Eleanor Chesser's house. They said they saw me with you at the house. William, I didn't tell them anything. I really don't know anything. Then I passed out. That's it, she said, tears welling up on her face. He furrowed his brow, and a sharp jolt of pain at the back of his head reminded him it was still there. There were two of them? His voice turned harsher. Yes, and I'm sure I recognize them. Cross nodded, got up, and headed for the doctor. Dr. Graham said Evelyn was fine but needed rest, then handed over a prescription. William had taken a hit too. He was lucky. The baseball bat had only grazed his head. Cross drove his Buick to the station, his mind tense with thought. Who were those two? One of them could be Frederick Larson, and the other, probably that guy in the blue Plymouth. Why didn't they kill him this time? What was their goal? These thoughts brought Cross back to Evelyn's words. The criminals had seen them at Miss Chesser's house. There had been a car parked by the road that night. Looked like a Plymouth. William suddenly swerved off the highway and headed toward Eleanor's mansion. Cross pulled up at the gates, scanning the surroundings carefully. Before long, he spotted tire tracks on the roadside, right across from the house. Next to the tire marks, a few Lucky Strike cigarette butts were scattered. Someone had been watching this place for a while. William picked up one of the cigarette butts, sealed it in a bag, and snapped a few shots of the tire tracks. Let the forensics handle the rest, he thought, and headed back to his car. Suddenly, Cross spotted movement near the doors in Eleanor's courtyard. He froze and ducked behind a tree. A stranger stepped out of the house, locking the doors behind him. Now, that's a stroke of luck, Cross thought, and in the next instant, he vaulted over the mansion's fence. The man spotted Cross, pulled out a gun, fired a few shots, and took off running. With a few swift strides, William caught up to the runner and swept his legs out from under him. The man tumbled across the grass. A second later, handcuffs clicked around his wrists. After arriving at the station, Captain Cross dispatched the forensics team to Miss Chesser's residence and decided to conduct the initial questioning himself. William looked at the drifter sitting before him. The man was sloppily dressed, looking like he hadn't seen a barber or a hot shower in ages. The stench of garbage completed the picture. His name was Billy McCoy. "So, Mr. McCoy, what were you doing in Miss Chesser's house, and where did you get the key?" Cross asked, taking a seat across from the suspect. McCoy shrugged, putting on an almost comically innocent face. "Found it near the house. Thought I'd check if it fit the door." Cross gave the man a long, hard look. "And you thought that was a good idea?" McCoy shrugged again. "You saw it yourself. I didn't steal anything. You didn't find anything on me, did you?" That was true. A search turned up nothing. When he was caught, the only thing in his hands was a gun. It didn't add up. Cross decided to hold off on a full interrogation until morning. For now, he wasn't about to waste time. he headed straight for McCoy's place to search it. McCoy's home looked more like a shack, standing alone on the outskirts of town. The creaky floorboards groaned underfoot, as if unwilling to endure Cross's heavy steps any longer. Time and weather had taken their toll. Cross had been right. Among the trash and old belongings, he found a box filled with papers. Flipping through the papers, he noticed a photograph with a torn edge. The photo showed what looked like college students, 3 young men and a woman. Cross recognized 2 of them instantly, Frederick Larson and Billy McCoy. But the part of the photo showing the woman and the 3rd man had been torn away. The captain carefully slipped the photograph into his pocket. Nothing else of interest turned up. It was clear that Billy McCoy hadn't ended up in Eleanor Chesser's house by accident, but for what purpose, William couldn't quite figure out. At the station, Cross compared the shell casings from McCoy's gun with the ones found near the blue Plymouth. They didn't match. That meant the shooter from the blue Plymouth wasn't McCoy. It was late into the night when William finally made it home. Dropping onto his bed, he suddenly thought of Evelyn. Only now did he realize he loved her and was afraid of losing her. With that thought, he drifted off to sleep.